Good morning, everyone. Yeah, I said good morning deliberately because it's still very early in the morning, and just like I had a recording of finding help with special needs for all of my friends, my followers, and everyone interested in the issue of special needs, I am not available by 4 p.m. again today. So if you've been following me on social media, you realize that I'm not in Abuja, so the background is quite different, and I've been busy with the issue of special needs. So we had the GT Bank Autism Conference. I've had different trainings that I was facilitating, and I also got trained. For me, professional development is a big deal and it's very important. So this week I've been extremely busy. I've been having consultations and everything that has to do with special needs. So I thought again to do a video because I might be on board by 4 p.m. and I'll not be available to have my regular live session with you all on finding help with special needs. And that's why I've put this video together so that you do not miss today's episode. For everyone that's been looking forward to have a live session with me and have questions and I want to have me answer, I sincerely apologize. And let's get to what we have to do today. Usually, I like to recap what we did the previous week. So last week, I talked about no, that's not fair, and I tried to explain what being fair is, and everything we talked about last week boils down to understanding children with special needs, the kind of accommodation that will be beneficial to them, the kind of modifications that will beneficial to them in the classroom, even at home with their siblings, so that no one feels sidelined or feel that they're getting more professional treatment than individuals with special needs. So that was all we talked about last week. This week we're talking about where is my shadow. So I've spoken with a lot of parents and some caregivers about the word shadow. So in special needs in Nigeria, you find that people use the word shadow a lot. And it was quite shocking for me because back in the US where I got trained and did my teaching practice in special needs, the word shadow wasn't used. So we had what we called support staff. There was a difference between a support staff and a special needs teacher. We also had different therapies. So we had the behavioral therapists, we had the physical therapists, we had occupational therapists, we had the speech therapist, depending on the child's need, and that was what determined the kind of therapy the child will be getting, and that would also be indicated in the child's IEP, which is the individualized education plan. Also, the accommodation, the present level of functioning, and a multidisciplinary approach is being implemented so that everyone knows and understands their roles and also work collectively for the good and for the good of the child, so that the child can move from one level of independence to another. Our sole aim as special educators and service providers should always be to move the child from one level of independence to another so that the child can live a very successful adult life without much support. Now, the practice of special needs in different countries differ. So the way it's being practiced in the US is different from the way it's practiced in the UK and also in Nigeria. However, I realized that we have a lot to learn in Nigeria. So I've come across parents who say to me, "Oh, my child had been with this particular shadow, and she's not willing." So, for example, a particular shadow had been with a child from like first grade to sixth grade, and then the child is about to go into seventh grade, which is usually secondary school in Nigeria, junior secondary school, GS1. And they find out that the child, sorry, I need to take my glasses off, I feel distracted. They find out that the therapist or the shadow refuses to want to go to secondary school with the child. And the only thing I could attribute to that is that most times shadows are not well equipped. And the truth is that we cannot blame them. Our educational system is not fully equipped for special needs in the tertiary institution, even in the support that is being provided for children with special needs or individuals with special needs in secondary schools and primary school. We're still at the beginning stage. Thankfully, when we look back in the last few 5, 6, 8, 10 years, we could say that we've made improvement, but there's still a lot to be done. So before I go on, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who has been supporting children with special needs. A shout out to therapists out there, shadows, support staff for the job you've been doing. Thank you so much. I want to say a big thank you from the bottom of my heart because I know it's not easy. However, I always say to people that for children with special needs, it's either we do it right or we do it right. If we do not provide the right support for them, they were doing them more of a disservice as opposed to serving them to move towards independence. So I want to talk about the different kind of support that could be available for these children and who can provide the support. So let's look at the word shadow. In the meaning, I opened the dictionary and I try to look at the meaning of shadow, which I'm going to read out to you. It means to follow and observe someone closely and secretly. To follow and observe someone closely and secretly. The synonyms also words like follow, trail, track, keep watch, yeah, jog someone's footstep. So you're following someone, you're trailing the person, you're keeping track of the person, and you are dogging the person's footstep. Now, I have my reservation regarding the words shadow, and I stand to be corrected. But knowledge says power, because when I hear the word shadow, and I think of children with special needs, I cringe because really, yes, some of them might need shadow, but beyond shadow, they have other needs. So in the US, we have some individual we refer to as support staff, and we have others that we refer to as related service providers. The related service providers are the physical therapists, the educational therapists, the occupational therapists, the speech therapists, a behavioral therapist. So they work together with the clinicians, with psychologists, and then they provide the best service for children living with special needs. So as I began to interact with people that provides the service providers in Nigeria, I realized that the word shadow and therapist is commonly used, and I tried to understand it. So that's why I decided to look at the meaning of shadow. Excuse me. The meaning of shadow, and which simply means to follow and observe someone closely and secretly. Now, understand the word closely and secretly. Now, what I realize with what the shadows in Nigeria do is they're always with the child, which is exactly the meaning of shadow. However, they are more with the child, they're always close to the child, and the other secret part is not available. We don't see that more often. And it just boils down to understanding what disability is, what special needs is, and know when to follow closely and when to follow secretly. I've had another complaint by a parent who said to me that a child is in grade 4 and he didn't want to go to school. And she was like, why? And she said to her that he didn't want his shadow to follow him to his class anymore. She felt, why wouldn't you? And I said to her, one of the job of a shadow, if we're going to use the word shadow, is to follow the child, to observe and follow the child closely and secretly. So if she has been following the child closely, there's a place for secretly. There's a place of giving the child a gap or space to do and express what he or she has learned without being so close to the child. One of the disadvantages of being so close to a child who has come so far. So for example, the child had been with the child from first to second and the third grade. I think if the person has applied evidence and research-based practice that is beneficial to that child or the children with special needs, by the time the child is in the fourth grade, there should be a level of the gap, so to say, or being far away from the child, so that the child can have this self feel like he or she is in charge and be confident to be able to carry out what he or she can do by his or by him or herself. So we need to understand that. But even with that, I thought to go back and just do a little study and understand what exactly the word shadow is, and the word what the therapist, the services the therapist provide. So that's I've defined what a shadow is, and then for me, it's more like a support staff. Yeah, because if you're talking about education, and that's generally what I'm talking about today. Most schools, most times I've had people that say, "Oh, I took my child is living with special needs, and I tried to enroll her in a school, and I was told to get a shadow." And the first thing that comes to mind is, what's the level of severity of your child's need or the special needs? Yeah. So how severe is a case? Is it a mild case? Is it a moderate case? Is it a severe case? There are some severe cases, a lot of severe cases that would require a shadow or a support staff. And what I've learned in this field is that when you talk about special education needs, it has to do with education. It has to do with learning. It has to do with how the brain learns. It has to do with theory of the learning. It has to do with understanding independent practice. It has to do with understanding guided practice. It has to do with professionalism. So if you're a therapist, what kind of therapist are you? If you're a shadow, what kind of support are you providing? What kind of shadowing are you? Are you working on the child's ability to independently communicate, to initiate conversation, sustain conversation back and forth? Are you a shadow that cares for the child's needs? So, for example, a child will not initiate the use of the potty. Are you observant enough to know that this is a time for this child to use a potty? Are you a kind of shadow or a kind of support staff that take care of the child's needs? So, if, for example, the child drools and you need to clean the child's drool, or you are a scribe for the child. So if you're going to be reading out to the child, you need to define your role. Because if you're saying that you are a shadow or a support staff and you do not understand the basics of teaching and learning, then we're going to have a problem. You'll be doing that child a disservice as opposed to doing more of a service to the child. So the first thing is to understand the child's need. If I'm a shadow, if I'm a therapist or support staff, what would I be doing? I need to understand the child's need. So if I'm not equipped in the area of providing physical support to the child or providing physical intervention, then I would not say I am a physical therapist, because it involves professionalism. It involves you understanding what exactly to do, how the body, the physical, the gross motor work. That's for physical therapy, and what is needed to provide therapy for that child. So you need to be an expert. So in what you do, I think I wrote down the meaning of a therapist here: a person skilled in a particular kind of therapy. So when I hear people say I'm a physical therapist, I'm a therapist, I do physical therapy, occupational therapy, educational therapy, speech therapy, I do all therapy. I'm like, I do not think that is right, because you have to be skilled in a particular kind of therapy. Yeah, we have people who could, some people have gone to school to study maybe one or two therapy, but for us in this part of the world, we do not have, we have the School of Occupational Therapy in Nigeria, but I doubt if the person who is an occupational therapist would also serve in this part of the world as a physical therapist or a speech therapist or a behavior therapist. So the first thing, like I said, is to understand the child's need. Will this child be needing physical therapy? If the child will need physical therapy, then I cannot just say I'm a therapist in every meaning of what a therapist is. I am a physical therapist if the child will be needing physical therapy. If I'm not, then I would say I'm not a physical therapist. I am an occupational therapist. And if I'm not an occupational therapist and I cannot meet that need at that time, I would say I am a behavioral analyst or a therapist, a behavioral therapist, or speech therapist. But then the child's need does not determine what kind of therapist you'll be or therapist that you are. You need to know who you are, and we understand the fact that we do not have enough professionals, and then people learn on the job. But it's very important to define who you are, and then the child should not define or determine the kind of therapist you are. So know who you are, and then find out if, for example, someone is looking for a physical therapist for to provide service for their child. If you're not a physical therapist, then you cannot serve that child's need. But if I were a speech therapist and a parent requires the services of a speech therapist, then I fit into that need. So it's like a puzzle that needs to be fixed. So if it doesn't fit into where it belongs, then there will be some form of malfunctioning, or it will not look good and not serve the purpose it's meant to serve. So it's very important for us to understand this as professionals, as school owners, and as parents too. We need to understand what kind of need your child will be having or will be requiring. And then when you speak to those professionals that we reach out to, speak to any professional, you need to ask them, what service do you provide? A person cannot be everything. Are you looking for a shadow? If you're looking for a shadow, what is the definition of a shadow? A person that observes and follows person, someone closely and secretly. They need to understand where to keep a gap between the child that's supporting. We don't want the person to be perpetually with that child, such that when the person is not available, the child becomes, so to say, useless. The child cannot do what he or she is required to do without support, because the ultimate thing we're looking for is to be able to provide, make the child be independent, be as independent as possible. So if we would like to use the word shake the table of the shadows, shadow, who are you? Are you a facilitator? We use the word facilitator also. But it's okay to want to provide support, but we need to know what we're doing, and we need to do it well. What is what doing at all is what doing well. So let's be careful how we use the word shadow. Let's be careful how we use the word support staff. Let's be careful how we use the word therapist. So what kind of therapy are you providing? Are you skilled? As what therapy says, it says the person who is skilled in a particular kind of therapy. So if you're not skilled, you're an amateur, and if you're an amateur, there's no way you'll be able to provide enough service that will be beneficial to a child with special needs. But having said that, it's okay to begin. However, remaining in that spot is what is not okay. You need to equip yourself. Teaching is an act. It's not you do because I'm good at mathematics does not make me a good mathematics teacher. So the way I learn might not be the way another child learn. We have different kind of learners. We have behaviorists, we have the cognitive, we have the constructive. So we need to understand the way these individuals with special needs learn, and then know how we can provide educational support for them. So for those that are for shadows or facilitators, one of the things you need to learn is how individuals learn. So first, you want to understand what are the theory of learning. Are these individual kinesthetic learners? Are they visual learners? Are they auditory learners? What kind of learners are they? First, you need to understand that. And it's okay to be in the place of not knowing. However, remaining in that position will be what will be detrimental to the child you're working with. So you need to study, you need to do a lot of research, you need to read up on the kind of learners you are working with. That's for those that serve as support staff, or the staff that serve as shadows. Like I said, you need to know what you're doing. Are you a shadow or a facilitator with mathematics, with numeracy, with literacy? Are you a speech therapist? Are you a physical therapist? Because I do not believe, and I've not seen that person who serves in all. However, if you're going to be a support staff to a child, what level of support will you be providing? In a school, if you're going to be a facilitator of a subject or different subject, the first thing to do is to learn how children or individuals learn the theory of learning, Also try to understand the kind of learner you are working with. Now, once you've done that, you also need to find out how the brain works. Different parts of the brain control. So the left side controls the right side. You need to know the kind of learner you're working with, and all it requires is that we do a lot of research, do a lot of learning, go for attend trainings, and I would also talk about the trainings we'll be having at the Cadet Academy before the end of this video. Attend trainings, equip yourself, be a lifelong learner. Put yourself in the position where you are learning, relearning, and unlearning for the sake and for the good of the children you are working with. Also, we need to understand issues of long-term memory, short-term memory, because most of the children living with um, neurodevelopmental disorders or with cognitive impairment, you need to understand how the memory works, because most of them have issue with memory. So you want to understand how they take information from the short-term memory and store it in long-term memory, so that you understand how you present your lessons to them. What is your anticipatory set? What do you use to catch their attention? What activities do you do with these children to make them fully engaged and interested in learning? How do you practice your guided practice? How do you help them? How do you withdraw yourself from the practice, and how do you help them to independently show or apply what they know? Very important. So we don't just always want to do things for them. We don't want to maintain them. We want to move them from one level to another and make them the best they can be. Remember, these children have a lot to offer, and depending on the level of severity, if it's a severe case, if you do the right thing by practicing the evidence and research-based practice, you realize that these children will move from one level of severity to the other, that make them and get them better, and also make them as independent as possible. So the word that should be ringing in our brain should be, how do I make this child independent? How do I make this child do what he or she can do without much support or without my support at all? Because some of them do actually get to that level where they don't need support anymore, and then they're able to self-regulate and manage themselves without support. So we need to also understand differentiated instruction in our presentation, and in their response, differentiated assessments, differentiated lessons. So if a child cannot write, will I have him spell out or read out the word? Would I have him use assistive technology? What would I do to make sure this child express his or herself? And let's not forget that when we're having inclusive practice, it's not just the job of a shadow. Like I explained, a shadow follows and monitors a child closely and secretly. So not just closely, secretly. And it's not the function of um it's not the job of the shadow to take care of that child. So it's not nannying the child. The classroom teacher must be involved. Everyone in the school must be involved in ensuring that it's an inclusive school. The school owner, administrators, non-academic staff, everyone must be able to support that child and also withdraw support when needed. So the word is, when do we withdraw support? And that's where we need to take record of what we're doing. I was at point A on the 1st of August. Now is the 6th of August, I'm on point B. And then by the 15th of August, I'm on point C. So we must be able to take record, monitor the child's progress, and be able to see how well and how far we can move this child from one level of independence to a lesser level of independence. And how do we do that? Like I've been saying, all I'm trying to say, and I've been saying all the while, is that we must learn to improve ourselves. If whatever service you provide for a child, be it the shadow support, which usually is not educational support, probably we could use the word facilitator. So if you're facilitating in numeracy, that is understandable. If you're facilitating in literacy, fine. If you're facilitating in physical education classes, fine. If you're working on behavior, which behavior for me causes across different disciplines. So whatever you're doing with the child, behavior is very important. So you must be very good at modifying behavior, and that will be another topic for another day. I'm sharing about the ABCs of behavior and how it comes into everything we do with children with special needs, and even neurotypical children without special needs also benefits from behavior modification. So the first thing I said is that we must acquire knowledge. We must be lifelong learner in whatever support we are providing for these children, and you cannot be the one providing all the support. So one size does not fit all for children with special needs. So I cannot be a physical therapist, a behavioral therapist, occupational therapist, and also be the shadow and also be the support staff. I need to define my role. Yes, I understand that a multidisciplinary approach might not be fully implemented in our setting here in Nigeria, but we need to define our role. Yes, it might involve you having more than 2 or 3 people working with your child. That's okay, as opposed to one person saying he's a physical therapist, he's a behavioral therapist, he's an occupational therapist, he's a speech therapy. It doesn't always work that way, because if you are a professional in the field, you must be fully skilled at that particular field. So even if I say I'm able to provide all of the support all by myself, that means there'll be a place that there'll be some that will suffer, because I can't be skilled at it all. Yeah, probably too, but not in everything. And like I said, if you are a support staff, what kind of support are you providing? If you're a facilitator, what are you facilitating? Is it behavior? Is it academic? And if it's academics, these are the things, these are the points I said earlier. If you're providing academic support and whatever support you provide, you need to be skilled. You need to acquire knowledge. You need to know and keep developing yourself. Researching. I always use the word teachers are researchers. Continue to research. Before for you to teach a child with special needs or to work with a child with special needs, you need to research about how the child learns, how the brain works, how the memory of the child, and concentration and all of that. You need to do a lot of research on that. You need to also be able to learn how to differentiate. What do I do when others are reading and my child with special needs is not able to read? Do I use text to speech? Do I use assistive technology? How do I have the child add simple addition? Would it be stroking? Would it be joining lines? Would it be abstract? Would it be representational? Would it be word problem? Would it be figures? Would I show pictures as opposed to having the child read? Would I have the child draw as opposed to having the child speak? So we need to understand exactly what we're doing with children with special needs, and then understand the various kind of accommodation and modification available for this child and that will be required for the child. So that's what I thought to talk about today on finding help with special needs. Where is my shadow? So when I say where is my shadow, where exactly are you literally? What exactly would you be doing with me as a child with special needs? When will you learn to work with me closely? And when would you be working with me secretly? When would you let me take a punch? When would you let me take a lunch at something I've never done before and let me just fail and then learn from my failure? Or would you always be guiding me and not be scared of me making mistakes? Which mistake is okay. I mean, failure is okay. Just a way of learning to do things, not learning to do things not the same way again. So if I failed in something, I realize my mistakes and then move forward. It could be tough and we could be very, very protective of children with special needs, but we need to understand that independence is our ultimate goal. So having said that, I'd like to let you know our various trainings we're having in a few weeks. So in another 2 weeks in Abuja people, we're having a training for you called Special Needs Education Summer Camp. So it's a 3-day non-residential summer camp for individuals with special needs. Professional development can never be overemphasized. So we're having, if you check on our social media, on my social media handles, and on Facebook, on Instagram, and every other platform I am on, you'd see that we'll be advertising this for a while. And it's not just for special educators, for everyone that work with children, because whether we like it or not, because of the level of awareness and identification, we realize that we have children with special needs in our classroom, be it learning disability, which dyslexia is a very good example, or a child that just needs a form of support or the other. So this is for you if you're working with children with special needs. If you're a regular teacher, if you're a school owner, if you're an administrator, please come join us in Abuja on Thursday the 15th, 6th, and then Friday the 16th, and then Saturday the 17th. So it's a 3-day non-residential summer camp. And in Abuja, we're having it from Thursday the 15th to Saturday the 17th of August. I'll take that date Abuja residents, Abuja special educators, Abuja school owners, please attend the special needs educator summer camp that is taking place on the 15th to the 17th of August. So it runs from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. We're going to have different well-equipped facilitators. We're going to have educators share their challenges. We're going to be answering a lot of questions, a lot of networking. You will learn not just not just about special needs, and you learn about professionalism. You learn on how to keep record. You learn several things, and your questions will be answered. So come network, come learn, come share, and come develop yourself. Come add knowledge to knowledge. From the 15th of August to the 17th of August is when it's taking place in Abuja, and the time is 9 to 3 p.m. daily, and it's a 3-day non-residential summer camp for special educators. In Lagos, it will be taking place on Tuesday the 20th to Thursday the 22nd of August. So we're having Lagos version on Tuesday the 20th to Thursday the 22nd of August, and it's a 3-day also, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The time is 9 to 3 p.m. I know you have questions regarding the venue, so I'll just take the Port Harcourt one before I go to that information. So for Port Harcourt, we're having it on Thursday the 29th to Saturday the 31st of August. Lagos, Tuesday 20th to the 22nd of August. Port Harcourt, Thursday 29th to the 30th of August. And Abuja will be the first, which is the 15th of August to 17th of August. Now, this is a 3-day summer camp that goes for just 20,000 naira. No amount is enough for you to invest in yourself and acquire knowledge. It makes you a better person. The benefits of professional development can never be overemphasized. So if you're going to be looking at how much it's costing you 20,000 and then you deprive yourself of this knowledge, then I'm so worried for you, because there's something going on. For 20,000, I think that's good enough for you to come learn for 3 days, and then you're a better off person. So I look forward to having you. For more information, and you could call the number 09055223338. So call the number 09055223338, or you can also call 0809 127 3666. For more information, call the number 0809 127 3666 or 09055223338. Again, 09055223338 for more information about the special needs educators summer camp. So it's a gathering of educators, school owners, facilitators, shadows, therapists to come learn more about how to provide better services, and to network, and to ask questions, and to build up on their knowledge of special needs. So the flyers are out there. We keep pushing it out there and hoping that you come learn and come share with us of what you've experienced in your practice as educators and special educators. And so I'm excited again. If you've been following me closely, you will realize that the Special Needs Made Easy Volume 1 is out. So this is it, live and direct. It came out on the 1st of August. And what I thought to do, just like this platforms is finding out with specialists, I realized that a lot of people have different idea of what special need is. And then I thought to put this book together. So it's a compendium of special needs subject that ought to be common knowledge. So there's nothing mysterious about special needs. There's nothing that should be hidden about special needs. It's meant to be a knowledge that is common to everyone, so that we can better absorb individuals with special needs into our environment, into our schools, into our offices, into our supermarkets, just to make it an inclusive word for these individuals. So some of the chapters in this book are, I try to explain the different kind of special needs are available, the general misconception about special needs, the fears about special needs, categories of special needs, how to practice early intervention in special needs, early discovery, assessment, consultation, evaluation, identification. Then I talked about importance of special needs and how to implement inclusive practice, collaborative consultation, assist with technologies, universal design for learning, and then some points to assist parents on how to help their children. So this is special needs made easy, and it's the knowledge we have in here is it's incomparable. That's the word, incomparable, and it just goes for 2,500. That's the book. Can you see it? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm super proud of myself, and I'm so excited to share my knowledge with you all on issues of specialists. So, specialists made easy, volume one. Look out for more of the volumes in the next coming few weeks, and it's easy read. It's an easy read. Knowledge in it is incomparable, like I said earlier on, and to purchase this book, we have it here, we have it in Lagos, we have it in Abuja, in Port Harcourt, and all over. It can be delivered to you for just the book itself costs 2,500 naira. um to get more, or for more information about the book, just simply call the number 0809 666, or send me an email at Lola. Send me an email, Aneke at gmail.com. You could send me messages on my social media handles to get more information about the book and where and how to purchase it. But in the next couple of days, we shall be putting information on where to buy it and how to buy the book online and even physically. So thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. Thank you. Don't forget about the special needs education summer camp, and don't forget to look out for your copy and make sure you grab one for someone else, so that we can make the world and Nigeria an inclusive society indeed for individuals living with special needs. We talked about the shadow. Where is my shadow? And I hope I've been able to impact knowledge to you and to break things down to you on how the services and what kind of services we can provide for individuals with special needs. If you have questions for me, please leave it in the comment section after this video. And till I come your way again next week, I remain Lola Aneke on finding help with special needs. Have a blessed week. Thank you for listening.